but different Tina leaves this time.
Tina leaves with Arceus.
Newsflash, Arceus isn't dead. Hello and welcome to Attach Pass, the mid-tier podcast by mid-tier players. I literally just threw us in there. I'm so sorry, Beth. My name is Ben and I'm joined once again by the wonderful Beth. How you doing, Beth?
I'm great, and I know you missed me.
Absolutely. We did. We missed you very, very much. You looked wonderful on that thumbnail last week.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
not last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that wonderful thumbnail that Ben messaged me after I'd been at a conference. I'd been travelling all day, actually. I'd not been at a conference. And he said, like, I need you to approve something. And I'm there like, it's 11 o'clock at night for me. Okay, what do you need me to approve?
Mm-hmm. Thumbnail!
It's just thumbnail. It was just there. There was no warning, no pre-warning that it's going to be a thumbnail. I need you to approve. It was just thumbnail. Here,
You
see
loved
it.
it. Tell me you didn't love it.
It was a great thumbnail, I'll
Yeah,
admit.
there we go. First things first, before we start super anything, apologies we missed last week. I've been adulting, literally moving into a new house.
And I was travelling back from my conference,
Yep. So we didn't have time to record last week, and I'm really, really sorry. I wouldn't have had time to edit it, even if we did have time to record. So, yeah, here we are. We missed a week. We had a holiday. 5 episodes in. Go us.
Yay. I mean, I had a holiday 4 episodes in because you got Sam to replace me.
Sam didn't replace you. Sam... Anyway, today, Beth, what are we going to talk about on the podcast?
Okay, so we've got Utrecht to have a quick run through. We've got a Brazil regional that happened at the weekend. We hosted a cup, and pre-releases started.
Yep.
And we've also got a card for Hear Me Out.
Yeah, Beth returned triumphantly with a Hear Me Out that she thinks is going to be an absolute doozy. So I guess we'll see that later on and towards the end of the episode. This time, I am going to try and keep this under an hour. I'm not going to have a Sam moment. If you're watching Sam, you know, or listening, you can't hear me, like, can't see me doing the actions, but I'm doing the eye thing. You need to not talk so much. No, I'm joking. I had a really good time recording with Sam.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to having him back on. I'm looking forward to him replacing me.
Yes.
And having you and him on.
Yes.
And then I'm looking forward to having more me and him on and all that sort of stuff. I think it's going to be nice to have him in place as a potential host if he's interested in coming and talking to us more, which is nice.
No, definitely. It was definitely a fun episode to get to listen to. It was some of my travel experience was spent listening to that episode.
Yep.
I put it on for a little bit before I had to go to my conference on the first day.
Yep.
And I got to the bit where they were ripping into me and saying I was going to be dragging them outside. Unfortunately, Sam wasn't here on Wednesday, so I couldn't do that.
No, she tried with me, though, but I said no. I just did that thing where I hold my arm out and she was small enough for me to not get hit. Yeah, it was super fun. I had lots of fun with Sam. I think we discovered that we could talk for hours and hours and hours and hours. And we've got into this sort of routine where there's we know where to come to a stopping point and that sort of stuff to make sure that we are not recording for 2.5 hours or whatever it was that I ended up having to edit down. And I really don't have the time to do that this week. So, but yes, here we go. We're going to start with what are we starting with today? We're starting with the cup.
Starting with the cup.
Okay, so this weekend we had a cup here at Sanctuary Gaming Centre. It was quite small and intimate, I would say. Only 11 masters. Very, very small.
It was very small, but I think we weren't helped by the fact that pre-releases have started. So
where people can get their hands on nice, shiny, bling! There's some ace specs. With an upside down maximum belt because Beth's already claimed it.
Yep.
But we had a load of pre-releases going on this weekend. We had a pre-release on Sunday as well.
We did, yes.
So yeah, the attendance of the cup wasn't helped by the fact that pre-releases were on.
No, and I think a lot of people have started to get stale of the current meta. So if they're not performing well, or they haven't got a deck that they've clicked with, or they haven't got one that they want to have one last ride with, then they're not attending cups at the moment, just because the pre-releases are taking priority. We've got EUIC in just under a month. Yeah, people need to get their hands on those cards nice and early to make sure that they've got plenty of time to be tested, because not everybody wants to test with proxies. I think we need to be getting a wiggle on. Well, I need to be getting a wiggle on next week, because this week I've got some stuff that I need to do. Yeah. So, we had the cup. We had a Mew VMAX deck win. Yeah, it was a Mew VMAX Miraidon final. It was, again, another great final to judge, to be honest. Like, this cup, I got to head judge it. It was a time, I will say.
Yep.
Ben understands exactly why I say that.
Yep.
And Matt, our other judge, will understand too if he's listening, because I know he does love to listen to our podcast too.
Yeah, there was definitely some things that happened that, no, not going into details, not going into gories or anything, but there was just some things that happened that would necessarily not be great to have happen.
No.
But we fixed everything. Everything came out okay.
Everything I could fix, I fixed. Everything I couldn't, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I had to do what I did, and luckily the people who I had to do that to accepted graciously that I had to do what I had to do.
Yep, absolutely. And I managed to mess up the software. That's what you get for 2 hours of sleep and laying laminate floor the week before. I had... Fun fact, if there are any Pokemon judges listening or tournament organisers that want to be able to fix their mistakes with Tom halfway through a tournament, all you've got to go and do is edit the XML code for your event. So I spent a bit of a panic because by the time we got to the fourth round, I'm just gonna out myself here.
Out yourself here.
By the time we got to the fourth round, I went to click for the next, because usually once it's done its round, you go click next and it makes a top cut. And you're like, cool, top cut. It just said show standards. And I'm like, uh-oh. That means the event's over. What's happened? So I panicked. We knew who the top four were.
Yeah,
so we got them underway playing.
Yeah, we got them deck checked and got them underway playing while Ben fixed his mess up.
Yep. It was only 10 minutes into the round, then they got their match slips.
Yeah, it didn't take long for you to sort out the mess up.
But it was a bit of a... I'm not going to lie, I was a bit sweaty. I was a bit scared because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's only one way to fix this from the top of my head, and that was to recreate the event and then hope RNG is on my side as it pairs up everybody the same way. And if it didn't, I'd have to recreate the event every single time.
Yep.
So I'm like, nah, can't have this. So I just went in, did some editing. Tom, people, if you want help, let me know. Or the Professor's Discord is also super helpful. But yeah, we did that. Our final was Mew VMAX versus Miraidon, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mew VMAX versus Miraidon. Mew had all the RNG that it normally does, and Miraidon had no luck on its side, unfortunately.
I think at one point there was a Mareep on the bench that got a generated to twice, and then just to burn cards out of hand, he generated again and pulled two more, but decided not to attach them to that Mareep.
Okay, so I saw because I was sat table judging on the side where the Miraidon player was sat. He had 3 energy in that hand and decided to attach none of it. We had a turbo Mareep going.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was pretty fast, to be fair. That Mareep went real quick, well, in places really, really quick.
It did, yes.
But yeah, Mew VMAX managed to just, take it out. It wasn't... I guess it's kind of poetic, isn't it? It's coming to its end. Its time is over. The sun is setting on this deck, and all of a sudden, not only does it win our cup, but it moves on and wins Utrecht.
It won Utrecht last weekend as well, so...
That's crazy, and that is a great segue.
It had a great time, so Owen Cameron took down his second regional, his back-to-back regional, so he's now got a grand total of 3 invites that he's earned.
Yep.
He's got over 500 points and won 2 regionals.
Wow.
He's basically burned 2 invites.
Yep. Well, I mean, he's probably going for stipend, right?
I would be surprised if he's not. I would be fully expecting to see him at NAIC at this point, depending on what he's done locally and how he does at EUIC, since that's the cut-off date.
Yeah, I mean, let's have a quick look at the statistics for day 2 on Utrecht. There were 860 players for the Masters.
Yep.
I was supposed to be going, but I didn't. I'm glad I didn't, because if I did, I'd have been an odd number, and then there would have been a bye. I don't like buys. So, really quickly, just going to run through the top 6 most represented decks. We've got Mew Genesect, representing 8% of the decks.
Yes.
Lost Zone Box representing 10%. Giratina representing 13%. Roaring Moon representing 14%. Charizard also representing 14%. And then Guardy representing 15%.
Well, ironically, Guardy made up 9th, 10th, and 11th. All of them did not make top 18.
No,
top 8.
No, they did absolutely. They got,
They got hosed.
Yeah, they did. I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of people are playing Guardy because Guardy does have quite a lot of outs to a lot of stuff.
It does, yeah.
But also, it's going to be the last sort of opportunities you can play Shining Arcana.
I was just about to say that as well. It's the last time we will see Gardevoir in a big European event in the format that it currently exists in.
Yep.
While there is potential that it could have a way forward, we don't know how it's going to be performing.
Yep.
Since currently in Japan, it's not doing that great.
No.
However, over here in, international sort of regions.
In the West.
We have a best of 3 format rather than a best of 1. So
Yeah, I think
who knows if that's going to make a difference.
That'll probably fix a lot of Guardi's issues. I know that sounds weird, but these best of ones, I don't know because I'm not over in Japan, but my brain tells me they'll play a best of 1 tournament with it, go it's bad, and then put it away. Yeah. Rather than over here when you've got a best of 3 and you can react to how certain decks play, you get more time and exposure to be able to do that. I think over here we might be able to bring some more tech and some more potential ideas to the Gardevoir list, whether it is focusing on the Drifloons or the Screamtails, or even in the introduction of Raging Bolt with a sort of ancient sort of box side to it with Sardas and stuff like that to accelerate onto it. I think there is play for multiple different ways Guardy can continue to perform, but as you've said multiple times and multiple people have said as well, Guardy's now going to become a toolbox, not the predominant aggressive attacker that it's always been usually.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to have a bit more of a toolbox focus on its supporter line, where in the past and it's been quite low on its support accounts, and it's more heavy on the ball counts to be able to find out what you need. I think going forward it will be more of a toolbox where you're having to use your techs a lot more, or it could become where it's more of a reactive deck where you are going to always go down by a game and you just react to whatever your opponent's playing until it gets to that point in the meta where you basically, once you say, oh, there's a Raikou in the active. Not that I think Raikou's going to be too played after rotation.
It's going to be the best card in format, Beth. What on earth are you on about?
If you see a Raikou in the active, then you know how to play around it at that point. But I think there's a fair bit way to go before we can say definitively that Guardy's dead.
Yeah, I think, as I said, it's got a lot of space. It's got a lot of wiggle room. There are ways and means in which it can become more prominent. I just think at the moment, currently, those ways and means don't stand up to things like Charizard and Iron Hands, turbo decks that we're going to see and that sort of stuff. So, it had a good sort of run out. We finished 9th, 10th, 11th in Utrecht, which was fine. But our top 8, we've got Tina Lost Zone in 8th, Charizard in 7th, Snorlax Pidgey in 6th, Charizard EX in 5th, Chempao Baxcalibur in 4th, the Tord Pile in 3rd.
The absolute insanity that list is disgusting.
We'll circle back to that in a second. Second is Roaring Moon, which was so sad that it couldn't win the final in this format.
I know. It was set up so perfectly. It would have been so poetic that in the last tournament that it's got in Europe in the format that it currently is, considering it's losing a few pieces, it could have won it.
It would have been lovely to see Roaring Moon take down Mew, and then, not that it will, but if Roaring Moon became the staple meta deck, like, almost like that passing of the baton as it goes from one rotation, that would have been glorious and symphonic and amazing. But unfortunately, it just fell short to the Mew RNG, which was Fusion Mew, and it's also, that's poetic in itself. We started with Fusion Mew, we've developed and gone to less Fusion, more DTE, solo DTE back to Fusion, and now here we are, full circle, back to the Meloetta Fusion build.
That's the goodbye from the EU and European tournaments for Mew. Mew is gone from the big events now. Yep. It's got Vancouver in America that it could still do something at.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say what will happen there, considering we always know that the Americans don't like Mew as much.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. So, yeah. But the Tord Pile. Let's just...
The absolute insanity.
We're not going to go through card by card. But what I am going to say is I'm going to summarize and sort of, I guess, put this all together as this man decided to go, I'm going to choose at least one card from every currently in rotation set, and I'm going to play a card in my deck.
Yeah. There is only Fire Energy, Palpad, Super Rod, Vippass, Ball, Ultra Ball, Candy, Iono, and Charizard that he runs multiples of.
Yeah.
Everything else in that list
is a one-off.
Yep. I would not want to submit that list.
He's got one-off Pidgeys, one-off Barbaro lines, one-off Urshifu lines, Inteleon Sobble line, the quick shooting one, Medichan. It's just crazy.
This man just was like, yeah, I can fight my way to a top 8 finish with absolute insanity that makes no sense to play by any person who is sane on this earth.
Yeah, I mean, he just went, do you know what? I'm going to take third home with this absolute pile. It's almost like he went in my cupboard and just pulled out a handful of cards and just went, look, my deck! And the judges were like, yeah, I guess that's about right.
It's as if I took this... I don't know what's in this pile of cards. It's a pile of cards that Ben just has lying around. It's as if I took this pile of cards and decided, yep, this is what I'm sleeving up.
I wonder if that's all legal. Oh, I mean, you would do really bad with it because there's no Squirtles or candies, but you could.
I mean, I do pour with it, but it's legal.
Oh, there's the candies.
But no Squirtles.
But no Squirtles. I guess you could just Iono. There's a clef key. Your only basic Pokemon is a clef key. Good. No, this is my deck building session that I'm sort of got over here. I just whacked it on the table because it looked nice. But yeah, Todd basically just went, I've got a load of cards. I'm going to play a load of cards. And he proved that, he is good at the game. Very good at the game to be able to do that.
I mean, I don't think anyone ever doubted that Todd was good at the game. Todd is clearly good at the game to have the repertoire that he has. But I think this list proves how good it is. And seeing that this list cost, if you went for the minimum rarity, it would cost you less than €50 is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, to be fair, you look at the Mew in first place, that's also less than 50. The Roaring Moon's 72. Speaking of which, I'm going to really quickly run through the Roaring Moon list.
Yeah.
We'll look at the top two lists.
Yep.
I'm going to run through all 60 cards and then we'll have a chat and then we'll do the same thing about the Mew. So the Pokemon for Roaring Moon is 4 Roaring Moon, 2 Galarian Moltres Vs, 1 Mew EX, 1 Squawkabilly, 1 Radiant Greninja, 1 Morpeko. It's got 8 Darkness Energy, 2 Water Energy. It's then also got 2 Stardust Vitality, 2 Research, 1 Boss, 1 Iono, 1 Judge, 4 Dark Patch, 4 Energy Switch, 4 Battle VIP Passes, 4 Pokemon Catcher, 4 Trekking Shoes, 3 Ultra Ball, 2 Switch Cart, 2 Vessel, 1 Palpad, 1 Sealstone, and 4 Pokestop.
So nothing out of the ordinary, really.
They're pretty standard Moon list. It's what people are sort of locked in on that sort of, makeup, which is fair. Galarian Moltres to be able to accelerate the Energy Switch to move it back onto the Moon, the Mew EX to get you that draw power that you might need, the Squawkabilly to go super fast, the Morpeko for the free retreat, and the Radiant Greninja plus 2 Water Energy for that turn that you can actually make that Greninja play. It's incredible to watch.
As long as you hide that Water Energy well enough, you're fine.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty standard list that I'm kind of surprised didn't win, but it had a bit of a poor showing in the final, and it just didn't pan out for it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that happens. You can brick decks, you can make bad decisions, you can do all that sort of stuff. And apparently it was Mew's day to shine. It's almost got incredible plot armor.
Yeah.
That little pink ball of fluff.
I mean, somehow we'll find some plot armor that means that Mew will stay very relevant after rotation somehow, because it always seems to do that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, to be fair, they'll probably reprint it in some form, and I'll hate them.
Oh, if they reprint it in some form, I will.
I'll quit.
I'll throw a deck at them.
If they reprint Mew Genesect, I will eat every copy of Mew VMAX I own, and I will burn my God of War deck.
How many copies of Mew VMAX do you own? I feel like it's 3.
It's like 8.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite a few. Anyway, so speaking of Mew VMAX...
Speaking of Mew VMAX...
There we go. Go on.
So the lineup is pretty standard and what we would fully expect of a Fusion Mew build at this point. It goes 4 Mew V, 3 VMAX, 4 Genesect V, 1 Meloetta and 1 ICQ. Pretty standard Pokemon lineup. Then the trainers is 2 Sparkle, 2 Judge, 2 Boss Swordas, 1 Iono, 4 Power Tab, 4 Battle VIP Pass, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Crownmatic, 3 Lost Vacuum, 2 Escape Rope, 1 Switch, 1 Feather Ball, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, 1 Palpad, 3 Forest Sealstones, a Box of Disaster, a Choice Belt, 2 Lost City, a Path to the Peak, 4 Fusion Strike Energy, and 3 DTE.
Yep.
Exactly as you'd expect.
It's Fusion Mew in a box.
It's Fusion Mew. I don't think you could say anything else about it except it's Fusion Mew, and it is Owen's list that he decided to use to take home top place at Utrecht.
Yeah, it's It's pretty much the same list as the Worlds box, but they've just swapped a couple of cards around.
Yeah, it's very similar to what has been run multiple times over the years, just with a few changes here and there of what's rotated in, what's rotated out, what works best into that meta. I mean, everything that's standard and would be expected in a Fusion Strike Mew build is there. You can't expect anything less than what's there, and it's literally got the RNG to survive everything.
Yeah, the plot armor is strong with this one, genuinely.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it's consistent. It does what it needs to do. It's got a lot of outs. It can play to stuff. It can remove its 3 prize things off the bench. It's solid. It's good. It's consistent. It's deserved everything it's got.
Mm-hmm. It's been well played by some well played players, and if it hadn't been piloted by those people, I don't think it would have the finishes that it has, because even though it's a deck that's very easy to pick up, and I think me and you, who are mid-tier players, we could go to a League Cup with this deck and win it, because it runs itself a lot of the time as long as you're making the right choices.
Yeah.
And I think that regardless of what the Pokemon Company has thrown at it to try and keep it under wraps and kill it, it's not worked. It had Spiritomb, it survived. It had Drapion, that it survived. It
had Path, and they said, okay, I'll run Path.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Let me do that.
Path was printed, and then they printed Vacuum, and they were like, okay, let's run those, and we'll just get rid of our own Path.
Yeah. This is a fond farewell to Mew. Genuinely, like it has come. It has absolutely ruined metas. It has absolutely lived through metas, and honestly, I'm glad it won Utrecht. I really am.
Yes.
From a European side, we've always loved Mew over this side of the pond, and I think it's really, really nice to see it take down that special event for a very special deck going into the future. And I know a lot of people are going to be sad that we're going to see the back of Mew. I'm not going to lie, I'm elated. Not only because we see Mew go, but we also see Battle VIP Pass go and get replaced with a tasty snack in the Buddy Buddy Puffin. But that Utrecht summed up, right? Roaring Moon, the new upcoming thing, falls short against Mew VMAX.
Yep, and it is nice to see that even though Mew has not had tournaments for half its lifespan due to COVID, it has still performed really well, and that's its farewell from the EU side of things. And I am waiting to see what happens in a few weeks in the US, to see if the US give it the same fun farewell, or if they just beat it with a stick and say, goodbye, I don't want to see you again.
Get gone, you pink ball of fluff! Back from whence you came. And I guess this leads us nicely on to another upcoming deck that recently won a Brazilian tournament.
Yeah.
It placed 6th in Utrecht, the Snorlax Pidgeot deck.
Yeah, there's a few differences in the two builds, but it's definitely the same sort of standard inside, and I could completely see the core to this going forward and staying around. There's a few changes that people will need to make, but it's a stupid deck that does stupid things and just controls the hell out of people.
I know, it controls everything, and it kind of hits you, but kind of doesn't take prizes.
Yeah, it hits you, but it doesn't take prizes. It just leaves you sat there and then brings something else up so you can't attack, and then...
But I guess it's why they run the Pioneer, right? Because you Pioneer to know what prizes you've got, and then you use the Radiant Zard to knock them out so you can get the pieces that you need to be able to control the game. And then that's what original Snorlax block was missing. It was no access to those cards. Oh, it's just... Honestly, it's some 4D chess right here.
And then Pioneer is just going to get replaced by Erica's... not Erica's Invitation. Daisy's Help.
Yeah. Literally just a 1-for-1 swap.
A 1-for-1 swap, except they don't get to take 3 prizes and put 3 in.
No, they just get to look at all their prizes and then draw 2 cards.
Draw 2 cards and note down exactly where everything is.
Oh, it's so annoying.
It is.
I've said this before. I hate Control as a format. I hate Mill as a thing. Like,
you're really gonna love the next meta, then, aren't you?
I'm really not looking. Genuinely, from a player's point of view, and I'm going to be brutally honest here, I am not looking forward to the next meta. I'm not looking forward to turning up and my opponent not playing the game as I have always played it or always played against. You know, that whole
Yeah.
take the prize cards to win. The idea is to knock out your opponent's Pokemon, but they're like, no, get decked out. And I'm like, it just feels uninteractive.
Yeah, it's uninteractive, but there's some interaction because they get to look at your hand with Eerie.
Woo! And then discard 2 items because it's a broken card. New card coming up in turn 4 of Forces, in case anybody hasn't seen it, is Eerie. And it's literally look at your opponent's hand, discard up to 2 items that you find there.
If you're not playing it, find a deck that plays it because it's going to be key going forward.
Yeah, honestly, like when Iono came into the field and everybody was like, oh my god, this is going to be like at least a one of in every single deck. Well, welcome to Eerie.
Yeah, we are in a era where everyone is going to be losing pieces from their hands because of Eerie, and I would not be surprised if eventually it becomes the next banned card.
Really?
I would not be surprised. I don't think they
so?
will. I don't think they will unless Control becomes too powerful.
Yeah.
I think depending what else they print for Control, considering they gave it hand trimmers and Eerie.
Yeah, not only can you get them down to 5, you can then also just discard 2.
Yeah, get rid of the rest of the hand.
I mean, to be fair, when you look at the upcoming A-Spec Unfair Stamp, when it knocks you up to 5 and them down to 2,
yep.
If they have 2 items and then you Eerie, they have no cards in hand.
Yep.
Literally awful. Like genuinely, this is what scares me going for. I'm excited. I'm really excited for the new meta, for the new decks that are going to be exciting. I'm excited to see Lugia come back. I'm excited to see Raging Bolt. I'm excited to see if anybody can actually make Walking Wake work. Gouging Fire going over into Charizard. Tina Leaves, Future Box. I'm excited to see all of those decks.
Yeah, I'm excited for how wide the meta is looking right now.
But I'm not excited to only be playing with top decks, and I'm not excited to having had 26 cards milled or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, to me, that's scary.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to playing in a format, and it just means I have to adapt to the format, right?
Yeah.
But I am so used to playing in a format where I can turn up, I can know that I'm going to be able to play my cards, and know that I'm going to be able to have a game. Then all of a sudden, if my opponent's just like, oh, by the way, item lock.
This is where we need Lysander's trump card coming back, so we can just put our discard back into our deck.
Yeah, just get rid of it all. That'd be sick. Put it all back. Sorry, that'd be absolutely sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm cautious of it. I think it's going to be interesting to see. I know a lot of people out there, and some of our friends actually love control decks, and that's what they like to play.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for them. Really, really am.
Yeah, I think that there's some decks that have been a bit overhyped based off the best of one performances that they've been doing.
Yeah.
And I think that some people are overthinking that this deck is going to be broken to the point that it is.
Yep.
Because I do think that even though Great Tusk's Mill, for example, it's great in Japan, I don't know if it's going to translate as good in over here.
Yeah.
Because once people have played it once, they know what's in it.
Yeah. They know what's coming. They know what to deal with it and how to deal with it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what comes of that.
Yeah.
But I realised we just completely went over Geonia. Real quick top 8 rundown. Roaring Moon in 7th and 8th. Entei Valiant in 6th, which is quite nice to see.
Yes, it was.
Guardy there in 5th. Clorf Electrode in 4th, making the top 4 appearance. Chien-Pao Excalibur, cross regions, making its name for itself. I think it's going to be pretty strong going into the new meta. Palkia plus Ice Rider going 2nd, which was interesting.
Wow.
Literally in the final against Pidgeot Block.
Pidgeot Block?
Well, Pidgeot Block. Blocklax. That's what it was.
Yeah, Blocklax. That's what went into the final, wow.
I call it Pidgeot Block because it's 2 Pidgey, 2 Pidgeot, and 1 Snorlax. It's not really Snorlax Block, it's Pidgey. Pidgey Control, I think is what it's being named as.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is that, firstly, did you see the quality of the stream?
It was like somebody just strapped a webcam to a banana tree. A palm tree?
A palm tree?
A palm tree. Let's go with a palm tree. They strapped it to a palm tree and then they just left it in the wind and it just... yeah, no. The production needs to be stepped up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that it's in the Latin America. They've never really streamed before.
Yeah.
They are still they still don't get as many regionals. Like they don't get that much. I mean, it's better than what we got with the Australian regionals where we didn't get any
Which was
stream.
nothing. Yeah, at least we got to see what was going on. A
Yeah,
little bit.
we got something of what's going on. But I think if you're gonna stream, at least put a little bit of effort in, and don't just like let us have the quality that we had for that, where it was just a camera either side and one over the top. Because you do that setup here, and you make it look a lot better than they do.
Well, thank you, Val. Yeah, I mean, you can. This is something that annoys me about production in general, for not just like certain aspects of the current, Western streams as well.
Yeah.
Like, their winning in graphic is not centered to the game; it's centered to the screen, but the game is off center, so it looks weird. Just center it to the game. Like, that's the important part. That's what everybody's looking at. The information around it is ancillary, not the main bit of information. Like, put it there. That's just something that annoys me. Like, they should have all their graphics originating from the focal point, not from the center of the screen. And it's very easy to be like, we should center everything. But production, I can do it to a pretty decent standard on a zero budget. Let's be honest.
Let's be real. You're not really working on any sort of big money budget here. You're just using what you've got.
All the cameras, Facebook Marketplace. Literally.
Exactly.
All the cameras that you can see that we use are from Facebook Marketplace. This table, Facebook Marketplace. This is my work laptop. Sorry if you're listening, work.
I mean, mine is owned by myself at least.
But it's not attached passes. It's not mine.
No.
Everything that you can see around the room has been... It's very, very light in terms of what we can do with cash flow. And we can still make okay, sure, this is pre-recorded, but we've done weekly live streams for Pokemon before.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. Yes, this is pre-recorded, and yes, you do edit bits out to make it
flow
and give you guys the best quality that you can get, and make it so that we're putting something cohesive and coherent out, and you guys aren't sometimes having to listen to mine and Ben's ramblings that make no sense.
Or a sneeze.
Or a cough.
I've been tempted to cough so many times, but I just don't want to edit it out because it's more work. But yeah, the point is, you look at the weekly live streams, which you can go and look at on the YouTube channel if you're not already there, youtube.com/DiceandDucks. You can see that it's a self-run live stream. Yeah. And the players play the game, and it just looks good. Like, if I say so myself, it feels good and it works.
It works. It has the purpose it's meant to have, and I can understand why sometimes graphics that Pokemon put up need to be centered to the center of their screen, because when they are over with the casters and at the desk, they are focusing on the center of the screen.
Yeah.
But when they're over at a winning on the table, it's off to the side, so just focus it depending on where you are.
Yeah, it's not difficult. I'm pretty confident they're probably either using OBS or some TriCaster software or something. All you got to do is just set that scene up differently. If you need somebody Pokemon, let me know. You can either email diceandducks@gmail.com with business inquiries, or attachpasspodcast@gmail.com. Both of those things work. My name's Ben. I'll produce something great.
And then you don't get to play.
And do you know what? If I can, it's the same. So we are going off on a tangent here, but I love judging and running Pokemon because I can help foster the game for people and help facilitate people enjoying the game.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Not just playing it, but also observing it.
Yeah, of course.
So if an opportunity came up for me to produce the live streams, I would get just as much kick out of doing that as I would going 5-0 against some scrubs. No, as I would going 5-0 and then tanking out.
5-0-1 and then dropping out of day 2 contention.
But, I would get just as much enjoyment out of that. And I genuinely think, and I think lots of people, they think Pokemon need to rely on their community, not rely on their communities a bit more, but maybe outreach to the content creators out there. And I'm not saying us, I'm saying loads of different content creators.
There is plenty of content creators out there that Pokemon could utilise better than they do.
Just get their opinions, get their advice, invite them down to your offices for a lunch or something and have a conversation. Oh, how do you think we could do this better? How do you think we could do that better? And genuinely, you have a captive audience that are excited and passionate and, really, really keen on making this the best thing it could possibly ever be. Let them help. Let them even just give you ideas.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Pokemon have got one of the biggest audiences out there for their live streams and their actual, stream content. yes, there is probably some TCGs out there that have more people turn up to their events. Well, I mean, we're currently capping out basically every event that is put on for Pokemon.
Go Pokemon.
So we can't really do much more in that respect. But it's like there is probably the most demand. There is probably the most VODs out there and VOD reacts to the games at the minute in Pokemon. I don't see that happening in 90% of the other TCGs to the extent that it happens in Pokemon. So use the people who are in the game, who've been around the game for years, who know what they're talking about in some places.
Yeah, like genuinely, your communities are the place that your games will thrive and survive.
Yeah.
And if they can help you, which they will want to, they absolutely will. I mean, hell, if you want to, give them an ETB each. They'll be happy. Send them on their way. Be like, yo, can I have an hour of your time on a call? Can I also have your shipping address, please?
Yeah.
It won't cost you much. But to them, it will mean the world to be involved in it as well.
100%.
And I know you pay people to do this sort of stuff. I really do. But sometimes, if you're that close to a thing, you can also just miss bits.
Sometimes you can be too close to the point where you don't see the root for the trees.
Yeah. And I think, just talk to your community a bit more and see what they can do to help, or see what advice or ideas they've got. Yeah. Genuinely. It'll be great. I also know not a single person from Pokemon is going to watch this or listen to this. But if you do, heed my advice, please. So, yeah. There you go. That was a very, very tangential rundown of the past couple of tournaments that we've seen for the competitive Pokemon TCG.
Yep. By our own and by what we've seen around the world, because they are currently global. Yep,
which is great. Right. Go on then, Band-Aid me. Let's just move on to this next section. Everybody loves it. We kind of had a bit of a flake out last week because Sam just told me good cards. We're going to do Hear Me Out. Go on, Beth.
So, my Hear Me Out this week is quite a recent card.
Okay.
It's from 151.
Okay.
And it is Starmie.
Wait, is this the one you discard and you can do damage to stuff?
Yep.
That's sick. Sorry, I mean... Oh, no, Beth. It's bad. Please, tell me why it's good.
So, obviously, you already know the ability. During your turn, you can put 2 damage counters on any of your opponent's Pokemon at all. And then, by doing that, you discard this Pokemon.
Right.
So, yes, you have to get rid of the Pokemon to be able to do it.
Yeah.
However, you're placing damage to potentially allow for you to knock out a Pokemon that you might not potentially otherwise be able to knock out.
But it's a stage 1.
But it's stage 1, yes. But if you set up, you can just run enough Starmies and Staryus to be able to make it so that they can't take them all out at once.
But just Halucha, Penny, Halucha. It's less cards.
Halucha, Penny, and Halucha. So you're making yourself have to use your supporter for turn as well.
Yeah, but at least I'm not wasting a turn having to wait for it to evolve and having a one-prize liability on the bench.
Pair it with this boy.
Beth's holding up a Palkia.
A Palkia V-Star.
Right.
With this.
Right. It hits for 300 now?
It hits for 300, yeah. If you've got full benches.
But it doesn't, because you have to discard this Pokemon. So you lose a bench space.
Yeah, but then you just replace it with a Staryu. So then you're getting ready to cycle it.
Is this supposed to be replacing Inteleon?
Yeah.
I don't know about the discarding it. If it didn't have that last line on it...
If it didn't have the discard...
I'd be all over this.
Yeah, but if it didn't have that last line, it would be broken and run in too many decks.
Yeah, I would genuinely be like I am across a all-you-can-eat buffet. I'd be right over this.
Exactly. But it's like, if you can cycle it back enough...
Yeah, but how many resources are you putting into this?
I mean, well...
Is it a 4/4 line?
Could be.
For 80 damage?
Could be, I don't know.
What math does it fix? Realistically, like what math does it actually fix?
I mean, to be fair, I've had it play into me when I played Miraidon.
Have you actually?
I have
when?
actually. I had it played into me at Lille.
Did you?
Yeah.
What?
Because I had to make sure that the guy didn't, like, day 2 and that it was already a Limitless page with it. And the guy didn't, so I was like, okay, I can make this work. I can try and convince Ben with this. But I saw he was running Palkias, so I never full benched.
Right.
And then he used his Starmies, and I had, even when I had my Bravery Charms on, he was still one-hit KOing my
Does that 20 damage really make that much difference?
It did, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It made the difference between me being alive by like either 10 or 20 HP and him taking knockout.
But what decks are we running this in?
It was ran with Palkia and Greninja.
It's a stage what if it was a basic and you still discarded it, sure. I could get behind that. If it was a stage 1 that you didn't discard, sure, I could get behind that. But the fact
but the other thing is, currently you can get back with Rescue Carrier.
Yeah, for 2 weeks.
Yeah, for 2 weeks.
Wait. Does Rescue Carrier?
Yeah, Rescue Carrier rotates. It was Evolving Skies.
Oh no, I'm so sad. Rescue Carrier is great though.
Yeah, but that's what I mean is you could get it back with Rescue Carrier.
Wait, it got reprinted in Go. Oh no, it's still an E.
I was gonna say it's still an E.
Sorry, Krauser, not Go. I don't know about this, Beth. You have to have a Staryu and a second Staryu, and then evolve one into a Starmie, and then be like, please don't knock out my Starmie.
Yeah, but early game, when are you gonna boss? Early game, first game.
But it's only got 90. It's a Greninja.
Manaphy.
Right, okay, so hang on. So just to play this Starmie, you're also now having to run a Manaphy.
I mean, you'd run a Manaphy anyways.
Not in all decks.
When you're pairing it with this, a lot of people are already running Manaphy.
I don't know. Discarding it feels like a lot.
Yeah, but like when you've got Rescue Carrier, when it's in a format where you've still got Rescue Carrier, it's so easy to get it back because you can get 2 back in one go.
Yeah, but you've got to set up the Starmies. Staryus.
Yeah, but if the Staryus are down and have been down a turn, you can just use the Starmies what you're putting back down anyways.
If they've been down a turn. Oh, let's hope they've been down a turn.
I mean, to be fair, with the new supporter coming in, Salvatore, you don't even need it down a turn.
No, because it's got an ability.
Is it only Pokemon without abilities?
Salvatore says, and I'll read it to you. Search your deck for a card that has no abilities and evolves from one of your Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it.
Oh, wow.
Then shuffle your deck and do some of the bits.
Oh, so that's how they've nerfed Salvatore from being able to use Bibarel and all that then.
Oh, yeah, it would have been dumb. Like, can you imagine that supporter card without that no abilities bit? It would be like, oh, and we broke the game. Oops.
We broke the game. I mean, they've already kind of done that.
But it literally is, right? It's like, oh, we broke the game. My bad.
I mean, they've already kind of done that.
Well, yeah, they printed Control into fashion.
They printed Eerie.
Well, yeah. We're going to see how just impactful Eerie is actually going forward. The Starmie. I don't think so. I don't think you've persuaded me. 20 damage just doesn't feel like it. If it was 30,
I
maybe?
mean,
I don't know. With Palkia, what does it fix? Full benches, it takes you to 300.
Yeah, but it's like if your opponent sees a Palkia down, they're never going to full bench.
So say they don't full bench. I don't know, Beth. I don't think so. It's it's got too many downsides. Where did that guy finish? Did you look? Do you remember who you played against?
Yeah, I remember. I can get my Pokestats up, can't I?
Oh, I can get my Pokestats up. Sorry. She just gave, for those who aren't watching the podcast, she just gave me the look of death. Like I just felt it course through my veins.
I mean, you always get a look of death at some point from me.
I mean, that is yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes. Is it loaded up?
It's nearly there. It's
Here we
choosing
go.
my account.
Choosing Beth's account.
Yeah, because it's on my Google. So it's linked to my Google.
Fair.
So I had to choose my Google account to
That
be able
makes
to.
sense. 90 HP. What's this? Is the Staryu 70?
I think so. So.
I bet there's an 80. Oh, there's 60s. Oh, there's 60s. There's not even a 6. They did print a shiny version though.
He finished 637th.
Out of 800. Out of however many people were at Lille. 637th.
Yeah, 637.
That's not too bad, to be fair. Starmie.
2 wins, 2 draws, 5 losses.
I'm there going 2 wins, 2 draws. Did he drop? No, 5 losses.
Yeah, but he did have some bad matchups.
I think anything for Starmie is a bad matchup, Beth. I honestly think attacking with a Squover is more efficient than this Starmie. Why would you not just play a Valiant with some switching options? Like
Valiant wasn't legal at that point.
Was it not?
It wasn't printed.
Oh no, it wasn't at that point. It was the next one. But nowadays, why would you not just run a Valiant with a couple of switches?
Why not chuck it in with Valiant? For
Oh no! It's far from that viable. Like, this is about as viable as running a fighting energy in, like, I don't know, Maridon. That's
Is that off my Annihilate there?
Yeah. Yes.
It was never going in Maridon.
No, the more I think about this, the more I think it's just bad. Let us know in the comments what you think, whether Starmie's a yay or a nay. I'm going with a nay. Beth, are you still sticking in the yay camp, or have I converted you?
No, I'm still sticking in the yay camp.
Gosh, we need to get a new host.
Wow.
I just can't believe this is a card. Oh, it feels like they tried hard, and then somebody went, oh no, it's too busted, quick, add a stage 1. And then they forgot when they did that change that they made it a stage 1. So they made you discard it as well, and they went, oh no, now it's perfectly balanced.
I mean, the funny thing is, it got a shiny reprint in Paldean Fates.
I know! Why did you do that to us? It looks sick, and I have one, but why did you do that to us?
Maybe I just need to prove Ben wrong here.
Tell you what, make it work in a deck, just like I've not made the Hisui. Do you know what? Sorry. Hisui Lilligants, horrifically hard to get hold of, because everybody just burnt them. They were like, oh, this is trash. Yeah. Do you know what? The energy is worth more than this is. And I'm like, now, mate, come on, give. I've got 2. I've got 2 Vs and 1 V star. That's all I've managed to accrue.
How many do you need?
I want a 4/4.
You want a 4/4?
Well, just so I can flex into a 4/3 or a 3/3, you know? I get to choose. I get to be the maker of my own destiny then. But apparently everybody needed firewood. Just like they will do with this Starmie.
Hey, no, this Starmie is at least in a set that's collectible.
I mean, to be fair, I do have 2 of them in a folder over there for my master set for 151.
I have 2 of them in a folder at home in a master set for 151.
Did you master set 151? Did you finish it?
I'm not fully finished. I'm in the process of buying the last bits that I need.
I'm glad I don't have to do that. Although I might need to buy 3 Blastoise. Speaking of Blastoise...
I need 1 more.
Do you? I think I might actually have a spare. I think I might genuinely have a spare.
We'll discuss later.
Although, actually, just out of curiosity, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 1 spare. It's in my folder. Well, there's that one. I just want to make sure. Anyway, so, speaking of Blastoise.
Yep.
EUIC.
Yep.
We both got tickets.
We have,
We're both going.
We have.
We've both got accommodation.
Yes, we're sharing accommodation.
Yep, we've got that sorted. The #AttachPass team is going on holiday. Oh! I'm going to show them.
You're going to show them off?
Yep. If you see us wearing one of these, this is the Attach Pass. Mine's got Ben on the back with my Twitter handle. Beth has Beth with her Twitter handle.
Yeah, mine are at home. I didn't know we were showing off. Otherwise, I would have.
Mine's a little bed sheet because I'm fat. No, although it is quite comfy. There's some nice sports shirts. So the nice little logo on the back that we got made so that we can represent the podcast while at EUIC together like a little team.
We are. We're going to look like such a team.
Isn't that cute? And I'm gonna get playmats done if you want a playmat, and it's gonna be cute. And if you see us, just call us mid. Just call us mid and walk away. Don't say anything else.
I feel like there are several people that if they see us, they will say, "Oh look, it's the mid-tier podcast for mid-tier players."
Yep. I definitely know at least one person that'll probably say that.
Yeah, I can think of one. I can think of probably 2.
Tell me that's not a great strapline, and tell me it's not true.
It's very true.
There we go. So yeah, EUIC. Had any more thoughts about decks?
I'm between 3.
That you're prepared to talk about on the podcast?
I'm between 3.
Okay. Do you want to run me down what they are quickly?
Arctina with Iron Leaves.
Yep. Tina Leaves.
Blastoise.
Yep.
And Future Box.
Okie dokie. No interest in Ancient Box?
No, I think that it looks good, but I think it's not quite there.
No interest in Great to Smell?
No, it's not my piece. It's not my cup of tea.
Lugia?
Lugia. I've never liked Lugia.
What? But Cincino is so cute.
Cincino's cute, and I'll collect the art rare Cincinos, but I don't want to play Lugia.
I know a guy that's got one.
Does the guy not want to play with it?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm really torn as to what to play.
Ooh, what are you between?
Like 17 decks. It feels like I'm sat here looking at the meta going, just screaming into the void. I don't quite know what I want to do. I don't know whether I want to win or whether I want to lose. So genuinely, I've been looking at Lugia.
Yep.
Maridon. Again.
Don't think it's there.
I don't know. When you can guarantee energy on top?
When you can guarantee energy on top, yeah, but I don't think it's quite there. I think it's still. I think it's missing a few pieces.
We'll see what happens in testing, because I've got a weird Maridon build that I think is pretty cool.
Okay.
It goes down to 10 electric energy. You can just guarantee that you get it every turn, though.
It can, yeah, if you get the supporter. Which
you can guarantee that you get every turn in my build.
We'll discuss this off air.
We'll talk about that later. One thing that I did have a fever dream that I'm never going to play, but I genuinely had a dream about it the other night. I was ill. I'm probably still on the back end of coming out of it, and I had a dream.
You're the one who made me ill, then.
Well, it wasn't me. It was whoever was at our weekly league last week or something made me ill, and then I made you ill, I think.
Or they made me ill as well.
One of the two. Anyway, so I had a dream. Mm-hmm. Hear me out. I said the name of the piece. Baxcalibur.
Yep.
Luminion. every turn, you aqua return to shuffle it into the deck.
And what do you put up into your active between turns?
Just some one prizer like a Bonsley that you don't care about. But anything that's got free retreat that you don't care about.
A Bonsley. We could put a Cleffer in.
Yeah. Done. Cleffer, Bonsley, Magby, put one of each in.
Oh, I need to show you this list that I saw ages ago that looks really funny. I'll show you afterwards.
We'll talk about that after the podcast. But yeah, put anything with free retreat in, whack it in there. You have Baxcaliburs, you have Greninja, you've got the free retreater, and the only two prizes you've got is aqua returnable, which means you can guarantee what supporter you get every turn because you bench that Luminion. And then it's like, I hit for 120, back in the deck. I hit for 120, back in the deck.
Is this the new Mew?
I mean, Charizard turns around and goes, die. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, but no, because Charizard can't stop you going back in the deck.
No, but it can just one-shot every one prize that you put up, and you need to hit it 3 times with accurate return. In actual fact, hitting with the Baxcalibur is better. but...
I mean, maximum ban Baxcalibur. After you've done one.
Maximum, but hit aqua return, max belt Baxcalibur, dead. But it was just a weird dream I had. I'm like, what if you just ran 4 Luminion and Baxcalibur to accelerate to it? What if you'd never get yourself milled out? You would never worry about a 2 prize liability unless the Eric is you. You're guaranteed to get supporters that you want every single turn. Like, if it said 220 instead of 120, it would be busted. But if it said 160, it'd be reasonable. Like, it's one of it was a dream that I had. I was like, maybe. So no, I'm not going to play Luminion Baxcalibur. But if somebody wants to, I support you in this. I will buy you that deck.
I might build it for a league one week.
Please don't. It's so bad, Beth.
Funny though.
Just for the A spec, run something like Awakening Drum, which has 0 impact.
No, I want something that's going to have an impact.
Oh, fine. Prime Catcher is.
Maximum band.
It's good.
I want to beat the Zard at least.
I mean, I guess it kind of fixes a little bit of maths.
Yeah.
So yeah, maximum band. You run 3 Rosinia's backups in there, so you can get it back when that Baxcalibur's dead.
Yep.
And you can also put other things back in the deck.
That's where Starmie fixes maths.
Oh no! We've come full circle. I don't want it anymore. I quit this podcast. I'm done. I'm done. Tap out.
I think I broke Ben.
The problem is she's right. 120 does matter. Anyway, I mean, it can't be as bad as Lumineon by Excalibur. Anyway, so, no, right, decks that I'm thinking about taking to EUIC.
Yep, the decks you're actually thinking of taking to
Lugia.
EUIC.
Miraidon's going to go out, I know, but I have to test it.
Yep.
Hands box. So Hands and Crown.
Yeah.
I think that's funny.
Future box.
Future box. Well, 2-price future box, not the other future box.
Are you not running? I'll show you what I was gonna run.
Oh, were you gonna run the 4 Miraidon?
No, not 4.
The 1 Miraidon?
3.
3 of the 1-prize Miraidon that accelerates energy.
It's either 3 or 2, and then I will.
Wait, maybe that is the. Yeah, it's 3 of them, 4 hands, 4 crown, I think, or something.
I will show you.
Like
I'll show you my list afterwards because I've got it on here.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so that's one of the options.
Yep.
Raging Bolt in some form, be
Yep.
it Sandy Shocks. What do you roll your eyes at me for?
The Sandy Shocks is why I rolled my eyes.
It's either Sandy Shocks or Gardevoir.
Okay, that one I can respect. The Sandy Shocks, it takes too much. You have to go too far behind.
I agree. However, the internet doesn't.
The internet can be dumb.
Yeah, they can. But I have 6 Raging Bolts. I need to use them, Beth. I also have Sandy Shocks waiting to go.
Okay, Sandy Shocks I cannot respect. Raging Bolt I can 100% respect.
I don't know. So yeah, I potentially really want to make Raging Bolt work. I think it's got some legs.
I think Raging Bolt will work. Whether it be EUIC or after, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it will work at some point.
Yeah.
With Sandy Shocks, it's a straight no.
I don't know. He's really good.
No.
Anyway, so yeah, there is that, and then what was the other things I was looking at? There's other decks that I was looking at.
What was your arc pile? Because I know there would be an arc pile in there.
What was the arc pile? There was an arc pile, you're right. What was it?
Was it the Goodra?
Oh, the Goodra Vulpix one?
Yeah.
No. What was it? I can't remember now off the top of my head. Oh, it was Delphox.
Delphox.
I was thinking about a Delphox arc pile.
I've seen a Delphox arc pile.
Because I was thinking, you Arceus V-Star hit for 200 with Trinity Nova, power up the Delphox, whack a Vitality Band on it, it now hits the active for 130, which kills a Zard.
Yep.
And then hits the bench for 120, which sets up something else.
I will show you my arc pile with Delphox afterwards.
Okay.
I think you'll laugh.
Mine also had Raikou in it as well, though, because it was running the electric sort
This
of
one
split.
doesn't have Raikou in it.
Right. But it was just to be able to set up that 200 damage if they fill bench and then go from there. It was a weird arc pile, but also it helps cover weaknesses.
Mine's a weird arc pile, and I think you will laugh at it.
Okay, we'll have a look at that afterwards. But yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to play. Blastoise obviously is one that was sticking there. Although, I did find an alternative to Blastoise today.
Mm-hmm.
It hits for the same amount of damage.
Okay.
It's a 1-prize Pokemon.
Okay.
For Ralligator. Seriously, for Ralligator, hits for 160 normal for 2 water energy. You can put 5 damage counters on it, and it hits for 280, which is this. And you don't discard any energy, which is the same as Blastoise.
Yep, and that's the sad thing is that's kind of convincing me.
And it's a 1-prize Pokemon.
Yes, yeah.
And it does the exact same thing as Blastoise does. Sure, it goes down to 110 and dies to a Cram, but
it's 1 prize.
It's 1 prize. But then the argument is it will most likely take people 3 hits to kill the Blastoise rather than just 2. But it's 1 prize.
We'll discuss it.
Yeah, I just... So, pre-releases, I guess, before we finish and wrap up this episode, we've kind of gone off really weird tangents and just sort of gone into the void now.
We are in the void, yeah. And I blame you.
But the pre-releases have been really, really interesting.
They have, yeah.
You know, we've only had the one so far that we've seen at our store, but I've seen loads of stuff online.
I have too.
I've opened a couple of packs myself. You know, I bought some kits and had a little solo pre-release, which was quite fun. Genuinely, it's very sad. I built 4 decks and played them all against each other. It was really sad.
I kind of want to see these decks.
Well, I've taken them apart and put them in the folder now. But yeah, because I couldn't play in the pre-release because I was judging it and it was even numbers.
Disappointment.
So I was like, oh, I feel bad. So on Sunday,
and we had some craziness happen in our pre-release.
Did we?
Yeah, the game loss.
Oh yeah. We had a game loss in a pre-release. It was great. It was unreversible. I couldn't do anything. So I can't be bothered to think. Game loss.
It had to be a game loss.
Yeah,
It was a reversible game state.
There was no way to recover it. So yeah, game loss it was. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of just went home and opened some pre-release kits and made myself 4 decks and see who won. Turns out it was Miraidon Iron Thorns.
Yeah, Miraidon. If you get the future box, you are literally done. You're winning it.
Yeah, just draft every single future card you can into that deck, even if it's not useful, because when you discard it with Iron Thorns, you just win. Like, they can be like, oh, sweet, I've got a Raging Bolt with an Ancient Booster Capsule on, and you're like, that's nice. I hit it for 350 damage.
Yep.
Which I think could be quite an interesting deck.
It could be.
Single price future box could be interesting.
It could be, but I don't know. I think it might be.
I don't think it will quite stand up.
No, that's what my issue is. I don't think it will stand up.
Yeah. But I think the Miraidon itself will be super useful for setup.
Oh, yeah. On its own, it's incredible.
The peak acceleration one. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, so pre-releases are good. They're good fun. If you're interested in pre-releases, go on
There's
Pokemon.com.
probably a good few stores near you either doing them during the week this week or next weekend, so you've still got time to go and enjoy.
Yep, and get your cards a couple of weeks early, which is super nice as well. But yeah, A-Specs. But just before we wrap up, I really want to quickly talk about A-Specs.
You want to talk about how shiny and colourful they are?
No, I want to talk about them.
Oh, you want to talk about them?
Yeah, so let's ignore the ones that are going to be coming out and let's just focus on the ones that have come out.
Yes, the ones that are in Temporal Forces that we have.
So we've got
that we could have in hand. If you're Ben, you have them all in hand.
So that's Master Ball, Neo Upper Energy, Awakening Drum, Reboot Pod, Maximum Belt, Prime Catcher, and Hero's Cape.
The only one that is absolutely useless in that lot is the Energy.
Neo Upper Energy. It reads, as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, where else is it going to be? Oh, I guess Snorlax Doll.
Yeah. No, because
it counts as a Pokemon.
Yeah, it wouldn't, but you wouldn't attach energy to it.
Anyway, it provides colorless energy. If this card is attached to a Stage 2 Pokemon, it provides every energy, but only provides 2 at any one time.
So
Tinkaton, it's a DTE, but for a lot of decks, it's a DTE, but not a DTE.
Tinkaton's the only one that would actually really use it.
Raging Bolt, it fits that requirement. Dragon Pokemon, a lot of Dragon Pokemon require weird energies.
Yeah, but what's relevant in the meta that's
Actually,
Dragon?
It's not Raging Bolt because it's not Stage 2.
What's relevant in the meta that's Dragon?
It's not. I guess it's a turn attach on your Blastoise.
Yeah. It's a turn attack on your Blastoise.
But that's it.
That's it.
Like, it's bad. It's just bad.
And if you're playing Blastoise, just play Maximum Band.
I feel like they could have printed something so much better.
They could have.
Made it feel like a real A-Spec.
But all the rest of them, apart from Master Ball's the only one that's got only one deck it will fit into. Reboot Pod obviously will only fit in a
Master Ball's Lugia, right?
Yeah, Master Ball's Lugia, Awakening Drums, anything that's future.
Ancient.
Ancient. Reboot Pod is anything that's future.
Yep.
Prime Catcher, Maximum Belt, and
Hero's
Cape are the only ones that are versatile of to what deck they would go in.
Yeah, I think Prime Catcher is the default go-to for every single deck. Like if you need an A-Spec, you always put that in, and then you can change it later. Like that's the first one you put in.
Yeah, but I think at the moment a lot of people, until we know the meta, because everyone knows that Charizard's going to be a big percentage, unless you're running something like Shen Pao or Goldengo, where you can basically guarantee knockout.
Yeah.
With just getting enough energy, Maximum Belt is what I would assume is currently the default.
Interesting.
Because there's a lot of Pokemon that are hitting for 280 and can't hit Charizard numbers.
There are, but I wonder if the Gustin effect is better to be able to swap in Gust the Pidgeot.
True.
Like,
yeah.
I think it's mostly between those two. Personally, I would favour the Prime Catcher. I think you would probably favour the Maximum Belt over the Prime Catcher.
I think it is dependent on your playstyle, and as Ben knows, I like to just hit.
Beth just goes slap, 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 which is why she doesn't like control decks.
I mean, I don't mind control decks. I can play a control deck. I know how to play a control deck.
Well,
I taught Kate how to play her control deck.
Yep. But yeah, A-Specs are interesting.
A-Specs are interesting. It's adding a new layer to the meta. Adds another rule box to the ever-growing list.
Yep. Although we have just got rid of 3. Fusion Strike, Rapid Strike, Impact.
I don't count them
Single
as
strike.
like their own rule box though, because
They completely are. They had a whole archetypes just around
they
that
had
particular
whole
type.
archetypes, but I mean, I class that as an archetype, not a rule box.
Okay.
Because I mean, rule boxes in like VMAX, V Star,
Radiant.
V, Radiant,
Yeah,
A
okay,
Spec.
Sure. We'll see what they come up with and how they manage to deal with that. We've obviously seen the unfair stamp, and we've seen the... I'm going to call it a focus sash. It's not focus sash. It's something armor plate. But basically, when if your Pokemon is full HP and gets knocked out, it actually lives on 10.
Yeah. Which is going to be stupid in Control.
Well, it's going to be stupid with Bianca's help. So there's a supporter card.
Bianca's Devotion.
Yeah, whatever it's called. Basically, if your Pokemon has 30 or less HP, it heals it all.
Yeah.
And as far as I remember, you don't discard the focus sash.
No, you do.
Do you?
Yeah, you discard it.
You sure?
The translation I saw the other day said you discard it.
Interesting. I hope you do, because if you don't, that's dumb.
I mean, that has got me cogs turning.
Oh no, what have I done?
Thinking of a deck that I will tell you later.
Roaring Moon!
Oh no, it's not it's not Roaring Moon.
Okay, interesting.
I think you might like it.
Okay, I'm here for that. Yeah. I've just thought of one.
We'll talk after.
Yeah, I just thought you could accelerate to it with Guardy.
Oh,
right?
That's not what I'm thinking.
No, but you can accelerate to anything you want with Guardy for damage, and then just heal it all with that supporter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
But that's not what I was thinking of.
Interesting. Right. Anyway, I think we'll probably call it there.
Yeah, we'll call it there.
It's been about an hour and a bit.
We've been talking long enough and probably gave you whiplash with how many things we've been going through.
Oh, yeah, we twisted and turned.
All because I missed a week.
Yep.
I wasn't available. But you're back. I'm back. And
You're back. They never went anywhere.
I was talking to you.
Oh, me? Oh, I'm always here. I'm like a bad smell.
You weren't here.
Last
you weren't
week.
recording last week.
No, I wasn't, and I'm sorry, chat.
You weren't here. So you're back. I'm back.
We're back.
We're back.
It's back. Attach Pass. Back soon.
Attach Pass is back on the roll until we have to have another week off.
Yeah. Well, speaking of week off.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm joking. Next week, we're going to be taking a look at a week of us playing our rotation decks. Hopefully, we're going to get those drafted up and start playing some tests.
Yes, get some testing
at some
done.
point. And then we're going to have a quick look at Japan.
Yep.
And where their current best of one systems are.
Where their current city leagues are sitting, since they've got that, and they've also got a Champions League coming up.
They do. And then the week after that, we're going to look at Vancouver, because that's going to be happening.
Yes.
And then we're going to be literally one podcast away from pre-EUIC, which is exciting.
That is exciting.
So we'll probably do a couple more in-depth deck lowdowns on that one podcast that releases just before EUIC.
Yeah. But
literally the day before.
Yeah.
Well, the day before we travel.
The day before we go, and 2 days before play starts, and Temporal Forces becomes legal.
Exciting times! I don't know why I was like a seal there.
But obviously we won't be sharing our decks, what we're playing that week. Probably we'll just do a quick rundown of what we're enjoying.
I don't know. People aren't exactly listening to this to counter me, I don't think. Anyway, there we go. I've been Ben. This has been Beth. And we've been Attached Pass. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Sorry about the tangential mess up that was, but we love you all. Thank you very much for listening. And yeah, comment down below if you think Starmie's great or bad. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you next week, guys.
Bye. Starmie's bad.
Starmie's not bad.
It's bad.
It's not bad.
Beth, we'll fight.
We can fight.
Starmie.
I played rugby.